Hi guys, it's Jim. Dr. Sunny Day sometimes. I don't know. I'm a lot of stuff, but my actual name is Jim. And what I'm about to do today is to present a video to you to show you how to assemble a money-saving and really potentially a life-saving device. Now, I make these, I sell these. I call them power boxes and Solon boxes. What I'm going to show you today is how I actually go about constructing what I call a Solon box basic. Okay, and you're going to need a few things in order to create a Solon box basic, and just in general. Now, look, I'm lucky enough to have a enormous shop here that I've got packed full of tools and supplies and everything else, but you really don't need all that much stuff in order to accomplish this. So I'm going to show you a few of the things that you need, and we'll go from there. All right, well, we're back here now. I just want to show you a few of the items that you're going to need in order to build yourself a power box or Solon box. These are just basic tools, okay? I'm talking about you're going to need a drill, okay? Some drill bits to go along with it. As you see, I've got a few laid out here. Some tape is handy. A file works nicely. A little bit of set a small pair of pliers. A hammer of any kind, okay? Wire stripper, pair of pliers, a little bit of adhesive glue, and pencils and so forth to mark where your project goes. A little Dremel is nice occasionally. I like to use pop rivets to seal things up, so a pop rivet gun, okay, and a soldering iron, a knife. You see that over there. Okay, so those are the basic things that you're going to be needing in order to construct your power box. So now let's move on to some of the other components. Okay, in addition to the tools I showed you earlier, you're going to need obviously a solar panel. We use 25-watt ones. You can see the box there, and you can also see the actual solar panel out of the box. You're going to need a battery. Now again, remember, this is a Solon box basic we're showing you to create, all right? So this is a lead acid 7 amp hour 12 volt battery, okay? Very basic stuff. You need a solar charge controller, and we'll show you a little more detail about that later. You're also going to need a power inverter, this, okay, in order to take the 12 volts from the battery and the solar and convert it into useful electricity, all right? And you'll see that it has a standard household outlet and a USB port outlet as well, okay? You're also going to need a ammo box or some other container, whatever it is that you wish to put this into. We're going to take the battery now, okay? This is the 12 volt lead acid battery with a 7 amp hour rating. See if we can get that there. There we go. 12 volts, 7 amp hours, okay? And these are relatively inexpensive batteries. They do have a drawback, okay? They really can't handle a tremendous amount of charge or discharge cycles. And the only in our basic line do we use these batteries, okay? They get the job done and they're very economical. And for those people that need to have a very low price point in order to enter the world of enjoying free solar electric power, this might just be what they need, okay? Generally speaking, we're going to use, for all of our other models, lithium-ion batteries. They're called LiFePO4s. They withstand tens of thousands of charge-discharge cycles. They're much, much lighter, and they're much more compact. Let me show you one now. LiFePO4 battery. 3.2 volts, 10 amp hours. Very, very light, very thin, okay? But this is only 3.2 volts. I need 12 volts. What does that mean? I need 4 of these, okay? Now, these, maybe 20 bucks. These, maybe 25 bucks a piece, and you're gonna need 4 of them. So $100 worth of batteries versus the $20 battery. So, or $25 batteries, the case may be. In any case, this is a PowerBox basic for, like I said, for the economy-based model. Other than that, these are very similar units, but this is the big difference in this unit, okay? It's going to have lower output power because it's only going to be 100 watts output. Our other models are 200 or 300 or more. So 100 watt output and a lead acid battery inside. Those are the two main things that you got to be concerned about. So we're going to put this battery into said ammo box, all right? And you got to figure out what's going to work, what's going to fit. In the case of this battery with this dimension, I'm going to have to lay it on its side like that, okay, in order to get a useful platform, so to speak, to put my converter on top of, okay? So these are going to go. Now remember, the converter is only going to show through the very front surface of the ammo box. So the battery is going to be down there, inside there, and the converter is going to be in a space above that. So here we go. Insert battery. Wow, that was hard. Obviously, you got to make sure the battery doesn't shift around or anything else. So when we're pretty much done with the project, we're going to fill it in. I have some materials that I'll suggest that we use that will help keep everything inside there from shifting around and keep it well insulated and the other things that are important in doing a build. Now we've got to get this thing basically into our box at a certain location. So I'm going back onto the exterior here with this battery and this inverter. And I don't know if you can see this, so I'm going to try to move the camera down a little bit. There we go. All right. Here we are. Okay. The battery is going to be sitting down at the bottom of this unit like that, and this is going to be right about there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little mark here, basically mark right where I want this to be, okay, at about there. Then I'm going to take the actual unit itself, just to draw an outline with it, okay? Put the box here, put that there, take my marker, draw a basic outline of what we're dealing with here. Okay, and of course I got to fill in the dots on this, but I know pretty much what I'm going to do here, so I'll just draw that part. Okay, voila. You see that? All right. Doesn't look like it's very straight or square, and I'm going to make it sure it's straight and square when I'm done. But that's the basic idea. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a drill, and you're going to take, a drill bit about this size here, okay, or a little larger, and you're going to get into the four corners of this thing by drilling a hole into the four corners of what you just outlined. All right, that'll enable you to be able to use a jigsaw to go ahead and cut that out. Now you're not going to probably get it perfect, okay? You're probably going to have it look a little rough. You may need to sand it down with a file or some sandpaper. That's kind of where the experience in this comes into play, all right? I happen to be blessed by the fact that I buy every tool I can get my hand on, and I have a 3D printer. So I actually print 3D a cover for this, okay? That, well, let me show it to you. Go. As you can see, it's got a flange. So when the hole is completed, this will go right into there. It'll be painted all nice and pretty. Everything will be all lined up to look nice. And the inverter will go right around that. And that's how we're going to get it into there. Make sure that it looks all real nice. Almost got away from me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to have some plastic scrap and stuff. We're going to make a little bit of a mess here. That's what building stuff's all about. So I got 4 holes in there, okay? Now I'm going to get a jigsaw, and we're going to cut out the spot that we need in order to put that flange. Okay, well, I got to tell you, this jigsaw is about my least favorite tool to use on this particular project. It's way too big, it's way too heavy, and honestly, it's not the right tool for the job. I have something that they call well, it's a reciprocal saw, but it's driven by air. It looks a little more like a pencil with a jigsaw tip on the end. And that way you can just kind of hold it, and it's much more precision. It's used for doing body work on cars. We use this right now. We're going to cut the basic hole size out of here with this. So starting in one of the corners that I pre-drilled earlier, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to just start there. Okay, that is one ugly hole, but it's a hole. Got to make sure that it gets to be the right dimensions and sizes, and that's going to take a little bit of work. I'm going to have to sand it a little bit. I'm going to have to jigsaw with it. This is where the Dremel comes in handy. The Dremel will melt the plastic fairly easily with a little sanding tip on the end. Sprung to life. Let's check that out. Okay. Okay, looks a little better, eh? And it's approximately the size we're going to need. Now I'll have to work on it a little more because I got to make sure that this is going to go through, and it doesn't just yet. Always best to err on the side of cutting this smaller, okay? And then working it a little bigger, a little bit at a time with the Dremel, rather than to jigsaw too big of a hole and then you're sort of stuck. So we're going to take a break right there, and I will return in a second with something else to teach you. So anyways, we're going to, okay, I'm back. Now, this is the 3D printed cover for that particular flange that I made. Now you'll notice it's a slightly oblong design because so is this, okay? And it has the flange, okay? Now what I've done is I've put this on the face of the box again, just like I did similarly with the other piece. Because remember, I want to err on the side of making it a little too small to begin with, so that I can expand it later. So now, as you see, I've got the outline of this on the box. That's my target to make sure that I get the Dremel part too. So with all that knowledge in hand, it's time to grab the Dremel and accomplish that. Excuse me while I Dremel a bit. Okay, I'm back. There we go. It's all in nice and pretty, see? We'll be making that ugly hole look real nice with this. And you know, there's a lot of other ways that you can accomplish this. So just spend time getting this hole right, okay? And make it fit whatever inverter it is that you decide that you want to use. And it'll work, okay? Trial and error is a little bit of what this is, and building stuff is fun. Hey, it's for me. So, you know, get in there and do it, you know? You'll find a way, you know? You're going to get it right one way or the other. Okay, now let's get that battery placed back in here and the inverter along with it on top of it. Okay, I'm back. There we go. It's all in nice and pretty, see? We'll be making that ugly hole look real nice with this. You know, there's a lot of other ways that you can accomplish this. So just spend time getting this hole right, okay? And make it fit whatever inverter it is that you decide that you want to use. And it'll work. Okay, trial and error is a little bit of what this is, and building stuff is fun. Hey, it's for me. So, you know, get in there and do it, you know? You'll find a way, you know? You're going to get it right one way or the other. Okay, now let's get that battery placed back in here and the inverter along with it on top of it. Because this is important as you're building this progress. This particular battery is about as small as a battery that I could find. And as you can see here, it's pretty tight in the case. Why I show you that? Well, you gotta get some wires connected to all this stuff, okay? And so it's probably best to take the battery out for right now and get the wiring to these positive and negative terminals out of the way now. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, wow, I'm going to show you a little bit of something about what I'm going to do to wire that up, okay? I like to keep things neat. Now, listen, you could solder some wire to the top of these terminals if you wanted to, okay? You could just put the wire through there and twist it around if you want. That, to me, that's all sloppy work, okay? I like to use what's intended for it, and that are these little terminals that you can get at your local hardware store. Once the wire is put onto this terminal, then these will just fit right on there nicely and insulate it so you don't have any problems with any shorts. So I'm going to do that while I take another little break from the video. Okay, you know what, I decided that this is something, you know, I can't take anything for granted as to what you know. So I'm really sorry, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody, but I'm going to show you how different tools work and how you make this thing go together my way, okay? So, the wire, all right, I use 14 gauge wire. I like to use things that are representative to what I'm doing. So there's a red terminal and a black terminal. I have two equal lengths of 14 gauge red and black wire. Again, your hardware store, Amazon, wherever, you can get this stuff pretty easy. So I'm going to take the wire stripper, cut it back approximately ½ inch. Bare copper, okay? I'm going to take my little adapter. I'm going to slide it inside there, all right? And now I'm going to take another wire stripper, okay? Very inexpensive tool. And you'll notice that on the top here, it has, well, this one's really old, but it has red, blue, and yellow dot, okay? Each of those are color coordinated to the size of these, all right? So this is a blue one. At the very top, those are indented a little bit, so it's a crimper, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push some force on that to crimp that wire into there securely. Wow, I'm done. Do the same thing to the black one, all right? Trim it back. Grab another terminal. Put it in there. Crimp it up. Okay. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. I'm going to adhere them to the battery. The red wire to the red terminal. The black wire to the black terminal. It's just going to make it a whole lot easier once I do the other assembly. So just take the two of these now. I got a nice long lead from the battery. Now I can put the battery and forget about it in the box. Work on something else. So here it goes. And it's done. I want to talk to you now about the solar charge controller. This is an important part of a solar device. What this does is it controls the power that's coming from the solar panel and into the battery, and the power coming out of the battery to whatever device you intend to use with it. Okay, that can be plugging in. In this case, it means plugging it into the power inverter. Okay, that way the switches up here will work for you. You'll be able to turn this unit on and off, and there are some other things that you can do. And notice that it also has an extra 2 power ports. So when we're done assembling this unit, we're going to have 3 USB output power ports, and we're going to have one 110 volt standard household outlet port. So this needs to be mounted onto the ammo box. I call them pill boxes. I don't know why, but I do. So again, this unit. Now, one of the things you may have not been able to see earlier, I'm going to get you a little close up here. All right, on the bottom there, you'll see that there are little screw terminals. And on the bottom, okay? That's where your wires are going to go into. So you're eventually going to be running wires from both inside the box and outside the box in some cases to those terminals, all right? The two that you'll find represented in that, this will be impossible to see where you are, but there's a little solar panel imprinted in that, and that's where the solar panel will go, positive and negative, red and black. The other one is for your battery, red and black, and the final one will be for your power out, red and black. So in this case, the power out is going to be the actual inverter, okay? So we're gonna assemble this onto the box right now, okay? So what I like to do with this is, once again, put it down on there I'll put it back, put it down on the box itself to find my best position for it, okay? And then once I have located that position, and I kind of like it up a little bit high, it's just, you know, middle, I'm looking for center of gravity and stuff here. These are just intuitive things. You'll figure out the best place to put yours when you get around to doing it. So I'm just gonna line this up, all right, and mark my spots with that Sharpie that I had used earlier, which is on my shop table here somewhere. And I'm happy with the way that's positioned. So now I'm gonna put a little dot onto each of the holes on the flange right here. Each of those, I just took the Sharpie and I put it down there so that it's gonna be hard to see, not impossible, but there you go. I've got a couple of little holes on all sides. I'm gonna drill through there, and then we're gonna pop rivet that thing on. Now you can use screws, okay? That's fine. I prefer to use pop rivets. Nobody messes around with pop rivets, okay? So I like to keep things secure. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Just drill 4 holes straight through, and then I'll show you how we put the pop rivets in. Okay, 4 small holes. Controls. Now it's time for pop rivets. Pop rivets come in a assorted variety of sizes and widths. So I keep a little box of all sorts of different sizes on hand for projects, and I just look and see which is the most appropriate one for the job, and I go ahead and grab what I need. So I'm going to grab 4 of them right now. Put my little case away. I've already got the controller lined up there. I'm just going to insert each of those into my pre-drilled holes. All right, there you go. Now, if you've never used a pop rivet gun before, it's pretty simple, okay? You take the pop rivet tool, okay? It has a little opening here. Stick the pop rivet into there, the stem of it, and then you just squeeze this until you hear a pop. That's it. Here we go. There we go. You heard the pop, right? That's all there was to it. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of that up. I'm sure that you don't want to be belabored by watching that, so we'll give you a little break and return in just a second. Okay, as you can see, we've got that all mounted up on there nice and pretty, okay? Now, I mentioned to you before about the fact that we're going to need wires here. Well, that means we're going to need to have these wires coming out of the the inside of this box. So I'm going to drill three small holes, one in the middle of each of these that goes into the box for wiring. All right, now as an example, I've got the two battery wires protruding out from the bottom of the case, and I hope you can see that there. And we're just simply going to strip the ends of these wires a little bit and then screw them right into the two terminals above it that are marked with the battery icon, positive and negative. Red for positive, black for negative. So here we go. Unscrew the black one, tuck that wire in, make sure it's fastened down nice and tight. Repeat with the positive terminal. And now I'll just feed the wires neatly, completely into the box. And you might now notice that the display has started to show up. 13 volts on that battery. Okay, next thing now is to complete the one to the power outlet and then the other one to the solar panel itself. Now, you know, you could just put your solar panel directly into these in the exterior. Again, I think it looks sloppy. So one of the things I do with my panels is that I put a small attachment on the end here, and then likewise on the pillbox here, I put a little receptacle for that, so that you can just plug it in and unplug it. Plug it and, you know, plug and play. Oh, I'm a riot. Okay.
Well, all we've got that remains to do now is the last few items. You're going to tidy up your wiring there. You're going to install your plug, which leads to the solar panel. You'll have a solar panel already wired up with the end terminal plug, and that'll simply plug into there. Ta-da! And you get the idea, okay? And you're ready to go. All you need now is insert something into here and here to use for USB power. This unit here, a little different than the one I showed you earlier. It's got an additional two, and it's got two plugs here. These are, you know, you can use any size you want when you do this project. So we started out showing you the 100 watt, and that one that you just saw is the 300 watt. So this wraps up this nice little dandy PowerBox demonstration on how to build it. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them in the notes below along with a like, and visit solnbox.com to get plans, to get repeats of this video, and to find some other helpful tips and things. You'll also find some of the parts that you might need if you wish to purchase them through us, or some other suggestions for ways to get them. Thanks again for watching. Dr. Sunny Day, out.